$1,000,000.
I'm Cooper Bentley.
Hey, I'm Bentley Havens.
You're watching Out the Top.
And you're watching Out the Top.
You're watching Out the Top.
Look at that rock light coming out the top.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back live on the old YouTube for Out the Top. This is our Good Evening Ranch recap show. With us once again from Alabama. Let's get our buddy Dan Carter up on here. Dan, what is up, my friend?
What's happening?
Dude, it never fails us.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, bear with us on this technology stuff. We are on the bus still, the struggle bus, but we will persevere and we will conquer this. We just may have to get some help. So once again, we've spent the last hour trying to get live on Facebook working again. Of course, we had trouble with that last week, but we're here on YouTube. This will be available on Facebook for people who want to review that after the fact, and then we'll have it up on Spotify as well. Before we get started, I want to appreciate everybody. Guys, thank you so much for subscribing, for watching, for commenting on our videos. I know there's lots of great places to go watch rock racing highlights. We appreciate everybody who comes and checks out what we do. Try and be a little bit different than we try and do things a little bit different than everybody else. So it's not a lot of the same old. And we appreciate everybody for coming over and tuning in and checking us out. And still get a lot of comments about the show at the races, and appreciate everybody. So if you're here for whatever reason and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Leave us a review. If you see any of our videos up, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. And as always, there are memberships available, and we can get this week we're going to put out some new discount codes for our members. So be on the lookout for that. That will be in our YouTube shorts. For our members only section, I know we've been slacking on that, but we will get back on that this week. Let's get right into it. Big news of the weekend. I didn't even know this was happening. The National Rock Racing Association, Rock Racing TV, is now being simulcast from Rock Racing TV onto your actual TV live. There is a channel called Power Sports Nation TV that is available on several streaming platforms as a live channel, and you can now watch a simulcast of Bree and Matt from Rock Racing TV. You can check that out live on I think it's Hulu, Sling, several other places. While I know this is not ESPN, do you think it has to be a step forward, or at least a lateral step? What do you think this does, or anything?
Well, in the South, we pronounce that slang.
Oh, got that slang TV.
We're on slang TV.
Hey,
man, I hope, I fucking hope that it does something good for this sport.
I mean,
because it damn sure needs it, man. We've been in the trenches for years, trying to grow the sport, trying to be professional, and it seems like this year everybody's starting to take note.
Oh yeah. I think it's a cool deal. You know, we've tried speed sport, and I don't know what happened with that whole ordeal. So speed sport, some of you guys know, was a magazine back in the day. It's turned into a TV channel. You can get that on Prime, I do believe. They had an app, an on-demand app. About the time they started airing episodes of National Rock Racing Association from last year, the app went down, and I've not checked it in the last month. It's last I heard, it still wasn't back up. And that's really where it's at when it comes to TV, to streaming anymore. It needs to be on demand.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe this. I do know you could go to the Power Sports Nation TV website and you could watch it live on their website as well. I don't know if there's any plans on having it on demand. As always, you can go to the Rock Racing TV website and check all that out.
Right.
Or over on YouTube. So I don't know. It's something.
Yeah, it is, but it's like, I'm like you though. I feel like it needs to be like on demand in some shape, form, or fashion. Just because it's like, that was the good deal with Speed Sport. You could download the app and then you could watch it via the app. And like in this timeline of like the everyday hustle and bustle, you don't have families coming together and watching certain programming at certain times during the week. Everybody's so busy. We're living in the want it right now era. You order something on Amazon, it's here in a day. Same way with television, and it's like, you go on YouTube, you get to type in what you want to watch, it's there, videos are there. You want to watch something that's on demand, like, I've got 15, 20 minutes to burn, I'm going to watch something on Netflix, type it in, and you can watch 15, 20 minutes of it. So, I'm with you. Like, I feel like it's something, it's definitely a step in the right direction, but hopefully that they'll get it sorted out to where it could be like an on-demand thing.
Yeah, I think that's where it needs to live. Because let's face it, Saturday especially was a long day, and if we got that entire block on Saturday for their channel, that is cool.
Right.
But I think and having it live is awesome. I do think the on demand though would be where they can go back and watch it. And like I said, they can. It's there. It's on Rock Racing TV's YouTube, so you can go there and watch it regardless. But just having it in different places,
right,
has to help. If you get a handful of people who are new to it,
right,
that's the goal.
Yeah, and like when you were explaining that to me, like we've been always, like, I try not to be late when they're like, hey, we're going to start at 12 o'clock on the nose. Like, sometimes life gets in the way and you're there at like 12:05 and you like come to the driver's meeting just a little bit late. That's the only thing that's going to like really suck for some of the drivers. It's like, hey, we've got a hard start time of 12 o'clock. We've got to be off the line 12 o'clock, be ready. If not, then what's the repercussions of that? Like, are you going to get skipped? Are you going to not race that round? Like, there needs to be some rules, I guess.
Well, I think, and I don't know this, I think that'll just fall back to your normal. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. It's time to go. You're not ready. You're not in line. They'll shuffle you either to the back or when you get ready, get in line. And that's, I don't want nobody to miss a run because of TV.
Right.
I don't think that'll be a big deal, but it will put. I think it'll be good to have a little structure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're starting at 10 o'clock on Saturdays, and then I don't know how the break's going to work. That's a management question, but I do know, like, we had an hour break and we started back on the hour,
right,
to fit their programming. So that's good. That'll give us a little bit better of a baseline if that's the way it's going to be. Hopefully this works out. like I said, I'm not delusional. I know it's not ESPN. I know it's not Fox Sports, but it is something,
Right.
and that is better than nothing any day of the week.
That's for sure.
Let's get into West Virginia. Friday, UTV stock UTV Cup ran. They run pretty much the exact same course they've run there last couple years. You do the guys, go check out the YouTube videos. The first part of the course is a giant rock garden. Like I was telling somebody the other day, we didn't run. They had We Rock, which We Rock is it is one of the most competitive rock crawling series in the nation. They paint points. You've got to go around markers up and down these hills. I don't know how it all works, but it's like super competitive rock crawling. When you think rock crawling, you think big boulders, big rocks, but also they're very technical and very slow.
Right.
We're racing through their course at speed, as hard as you can go. So we're running right off the starting line. You go into the woods through this rock garden with massive boulders you've got to go over. You jump out of the rock garden out into a field. You go across another giant rock. Turn around, you turn back through the rock garden. You come out of that rock garden across a little opening, and basically you jump over into rock garden number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is very violent. It's like that whole place is like a 2-minute car crash.
Right.
And there was some UTV carnage on Friday. Nothing crazy. Other than poor Casey Howe. I think ripped a trailing arm off of both sides of the car, separate incidences. Took a pretty good tumble out in the field, just outside of the rock garden. But other than that, there was a couple other DNFs that you wouldn't expect. We had Wade Good making his return to the UTV series. DNF on run 2. Clay Kaysen, same place, DNF run 2. Those are a couple guys you don't see make mistakes like that.
Right.
And that just goes to show you how tricky it is trying to run through that style of course at speed. It's just, you've got to be on the line. You've got to be perfect. But Friday, pretty uneventful. Your UTV stock points leader, Cody Kaysen, I think broke an A-arm somewhere in what would be the second rock garden.
Yeah.
Finishes the course with the old stanky leg.
Yeah.
Still ends up with the third for the weekend. But we
That's
did have a
right.
little point shake up for the UTV Unlimited class with Clay getting that DNF and Casey not having a good run. So points for the UTV Unlimited class are wide open now, where Clay had a pretty good stranglehold. So we've got 4 races left. You're about to see the wick turned up on that deal.
Right.
The next race is a very technical, but could be very fast. So it's going to be an absolute awesome show, I do believe. Dylan Dowler gets the double dip, stock class and UTV Unlimited on Friday.
Sweet.
Dude, I love it when Dylan wins.
Oh man, he's such a wheel man. And dude, it's like I love watching the videos he puts out. Like a lot of times he puts a GoPro at his feet, so
Yep.
it's like hardly any brake. I mean, it's just like all throttle.
Brakes are for sissies.
Yeah, but yeah,
No, his videos. I don't know who does the editing for him, but his videos are pretty cool. They've gotten really good at time stamping. Like they'll show half of it'll be this camera, half of it'll be this camera, half of it'll be like you said on his feet,
Right.
and they put it all together to where it's actually on time, and it's pretty cool. You know,
Yeah.
we talked about doing that a couple years ago and just never did it. And then I get on his feed and I'm like, oh no, we could not.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out. I can't even, we can't even get on Facebook Live.
That'd be a lot of work. Like somebody's putting in some on Double D there. Somebody's putting in some time trying to edit
Yes.
videos.
Yes, most definitely. But Friday pretty uneventful. It's a good. It's a good laid back kind of Friday because there's not a ton of. I don't know. I think it's because there's not a ton of speed.
Right.
It kind of makes it feel more laid back. I mean, I guess the drivers are still racing, and to you guys, it would feel just like any other race. But like for me, it was just kind of like, yeah,
Like more reserved because they know the carnage that would await if they were to get up too fast.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like let's
Yeah.
play it safe so we can load up after the race.
yeah. There was a couple guys you could tell that was like, I'm here to not junk my stuff.
Right.
Like, let's just get through the weekend
That's right.
and get it back home and go race somewhere else where you can race.
That's right.
Saturday. So there was only 3 in the UTV bounty.
Huh.
Do you remember when you were there? You run out of the starting line into the first rock garden, and there's this big step up rock you've got to climb up on and get up on this flat part. You know,
Right.
that was the end of UTV Run 1.
Ooh.
None of them. None of them got past that rock. So the UTV guys, and I don't know, I think they were scared. That's what it was. I'm going to say that. They were scared of Hill 1 because they were more concerned with Hill 1 than they were Hill 2. I think they knew they weren't getting up Hill 2.
Yeah.
And 1, they thought they might have had a chance. And so they were all really concerned with 1. But we didn't get to see that. No UTVs made it out of the first rock garden, let alone back to the hill.
So how'd they do the? I may be getting ahead of myself, but like that's got to be a first.
It is not.
Really?
It is not a first. There was Hawk Pride last year, maybe.
That's right. It fell on the previous race.
What it does is, and we'll spoil it.
Yeah, I may have put
no,
the cart before the horse.
No, I mean it was writing was on the wall. No UTVs finished any course. So what they do there is they go back. This is where racing every race comes in handy.
Yeah.
They go back to combined times for the season as the tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So Nate Bell got the win on the event, not because he made it farther than anybody. It goes back to combined times, and he had the fastest time of the season. So Nate ended up winning UTV bounty and didn't finish a hill. The second hill, honestly, I thought we've not posted any videos of the UTVs on Hill 2 yet. There was only really 2 that had a shot maybe at making it. In years past on that hill, we've had at least one person make it. And the people who didn't make it, most of them at least got their tires up on the, maybe up on the top or something.
Right.
No. Not even close this go around. Mother Nature has not been kind to that hill. And as it stands now, there'll never be another UTV get up it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
So, unless they do some dirt work to that hill, it's pretty well done, I feel like. But we'll see, I guess. Never say never. I always say, no, nobody's getting up that. And then somebody
Yeah.
does it.
Somebody surprises
But
you.
but I really don't. I don't see the way a UTV has to climb that. I don't see it happening. So no UTVs. The first hill bouncers. It turned out harder than I thought it was going to be. Granted, it's well known that I'm not a line picker. I figured most of the bouncers would get up hill one. We had only 5 completed. But the thing I noticed, and this goes to both hills actually, is and me and Nick Rock, we done an episode of Overdrive Sunday, got that out Monday, so guys go check that out as well. Me and him talked about this a little bit. The people who made hill 1 and hill 2, you know, the old sticker, the old Mad Ram sticker, always fully committed.
Uh-huh.
The people who made it, that's what they were.
Right.
Foot on gas, don't lift. And it's easy to be on top of the hill and say, well, the guys who made it were gassing it and nobody else was. You know, I'm sure there's reasons why some of the other guys didn't gas it as hard.
Right.
Maybe they knew they weren't going to make it or what, but it just seemed like the guys who were committed to getting up that hill got up the hill, and the guys that were kind of on the fence about getting up that hill didn't make it.
Right.
I don't know. That's just kind of the way I seen it. And then on hill 2, more of the same. You weren't getting up that hill on a rock bouncer unless you backed up and neutral dropped it. I mean, that's the only way, because you're not climbing it.
Right. You got to jump up that hill.
Yeah, you're not climbing it. There is nobody who can climb that hill. You're jumping it. And so you got to have commitment and big woo pow.
Yeah.
To do that. But interesting fact. The first, was it the first person? I think it might. I can't remember if it was the first person or the second person. Gold Rush got a new driver. We talked about that.
Yeah.
On the last show. Dustin Medley is now the driver of Gold Rush. And I don't know Dustin very well, and I thought I was going to meet him on hill 1 for a second.
Yeah.
The problem is the buggy was still running at a rapid pace when I thought I was going to meet him. He came up hill 1 and was fully committed. And it's been a long time since I've had to run away from a rock bouncer.
Yeah.
But I already had my exit plan in my head. I knew where to go. I knew exactly what to do and where to be. But at one point, he was pointed in the wrong direction. And I knew he wasn't, and I knew he wasn't going to hit us.
Right.
Because, like, he could see us. We were there. I knew we weren't going to get run over. What I was running away from was him running away from us.
Right.
Because when he turns to run away from us, as close as he was to us, we were going to get pelted.
Right.
So I was running for cover from the dirt and the rocks, and God only knows what else was in that loose soil up there. But we were closer than I want to be while the rock bouncer's running. But you got to have a little excitement, right?
Oh, yeah. Get the blood pumping.
Got to get the blood pumping
Yeah.
first thing of the morning. But he definitely made our day pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, I put the gold streak somewhere you don't want it.
Yeah, you can say that. I text. I was up there with Matt and from Busted Knuckle, and we were kind of, me and him work pretty well together. Like we try and give each other space. I do. I understand the hierarchy of how all this goes, so I try and make sure he gets his shot.
Right.
He's been doing this for years. I try and stay out of his way, but I also, like, me and him, and we don't even have to. I don't feel like we have to say it. Like we know our exit plans at all times, and we know which way we can almost tell which way each one of us is going.
Right.
And so when he started making that turn, I just ran for the tree, and I purposely ran almost towards the buggy to make sure Matt had room to also come with me.
Right.
Because there wasn't a whole lot of room between me and the ledge. And I was like, that was going through my head. I need to make sure I leave Matt enough room and I don't push him down.
Right.
And so I thought we all had plenty of room. And then I was talking to somebody else later in the day, or no, it was actually Sunday. I was talking to somebody and they're like, dude, Matt got close. And I was like, what do you mean he got close? He had all kinds of room. And they're like, no, he got close. And so I texted him. I was like, how close did you get to the edge of this rock when we were moving away from Gold Rush? And he's like, I was about a foot away from having a really bad day.
Oh.
And I said, do what? He's like, well, yeah, I was a foot away from the edge, but I wasn't a foot away from falling.
Right.
Like he knew where he was.
Yeah.
And had the, you know what I'm saying. He had it under control, but he was still close to the edge. And I was like, dude, I didn't know, like, it was that close. He's like, it wasn't a big deal. If it was, I'd have said something. So,
well, this is the second time that buggy has gotten after him this season. So
it is, isn't it?
He needs to watch out.
We're gonna have to get him. I'm gonna have to get him. Somebody said I needed to get one of those bubbles.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's what we're going to get Matt for Christmas this year. Get him a bubble, and he only has to wear it when Gold Rush runs.
Yeah. The only time it's brought up is like Gold Rush.
Yeah. But Hill 1, there was some pretty rough rollovers on Hill 1. Dan Bowman took a pretty good roll, and Tyrant, and just one of those. I mean, rolled going downhill, kind of picked up a little speed, and then roofed into a tree.
Ooh.
Yeah. So he had, I don't know. There's nothing you can do about that. It just kind of is what it is. But hopefully they can get that buggy fixed and get him back out on the race course at some point in the near future. Let's see who else had a bad. Okay, this is one thing I do want to talk about. Cooper Bentley had a power steering issue. And when that happened, he had a pretty good, fireball out in front of the buggy. And Cooper talked about this. Cooper put out a video. I watched it just before we come on here. And he explained, like, I had a power steering leak. I had a fireball. I probably shouldn't have ran anymore, but I did. Looking back now, I probably wouldn't have done that. Our machines are equipped with kill switches. Now, I don't know. I'm not in race operations, obviously. I don't know what the protocol is for when to kill a buggy. But in my opinion, if a buggy is flaming and it's actively leaking, visibly leaking fluid,
Flammables.
flammables, I feel like that would have been a good time. Um, so I don't know. There's some decision making there that I think was, and like Cooper even said it. He's like, I shouldn't have done that.
Right. Well, it's good that he
You,
knows that. Like
yeah.
he looks back on that and is like, hey, it wasn't safe, and like that's where we need to be. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it needs to be safe. And like that's we get talked about like that in drivers' meetings every time. It's always like, have fun, be safe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. There is. I understand what we do is extreme, and there is dangers. There's dangers every time you leave the starting line. Let's not make it worse than it is.
Right.
I don't know. Not trying to stir nothing there. Just observation. Um,
Well, they always say like a winner knows when to quit,
yeah.
and it's good that he looks back on that and he took that as like a learning.
Well, exactly. Lesson learned.
You know, but
Go ahead.
I'm sure they'll get that fixed and be coming out to Pretty Place kicking ass a couple of weeks.
So last year, now I don't know how the event numbers line up, but it should be pretty similar. Last year, Cooper goes into Pretty Place, had a lead, turns over, loses lead. This year, going into Pretty Place, he's playing catch up. I think, did he have the lead coming into this? I think so.
Maybe so.
I think so. And come in and got 2 DNFs this weekend, and so now he's playing catch up the rest of the season. And I think that serves. He probably doesn't want to be playing catch up from as far behind as he is at the moment.
Yeah, but like
Um,
I've talked to them in the past, and like I know that it definitely isn't where they want to be, but they don't want to be so far out front either because it's like target on your back, and they're good as gold, and
I
it hey,
think I think it serves him better to have a rabbit to chase
that's it.
than to be the rabbit.
Right, right. Hey, not have a target on your back, just being able to go and enjoy it and have fun. Have fun. Um, like you said, that let there be somebody in front of you that you're chasing instead of being the one running.
Yeah. Um, so there's that. There was like I said, there was a bunch of DNFs. I seen some parts failures that this weekend that I've not seen in a long time. We had a lot of brake issues, which is I think kind of strange. I had a ton of brake issues. A lot of tires cut this weekend. The hill one was pretty rowdy. So you had 5 guys get up it. You had Gold Rush, Nick Rock, and Fordzilla. You had Wade Good and Nemesis. You had Daniel Heckley and Hellbent. And then you had Clay Kaysen in his debut in Standback.
How about that?
Hey, I was so over the moon for him.
Yeah.
He learned a lot in that because he didn't just roll up to it and go up it.
Right.
Which I think for his development, if he's going to drive that buggy, for his development, I think that is the best thing that could have happened.
For sure.
He rolled up there, struggled, took him 4 or 5 times, finally did get up it. So now he has a little trust in the buggy.
Right.
Okay, if I put it in a place for it to succeed, it will do its work.
Right.
So that was good for him. Glad to see him do real good. I mean, primed for. Well, I guess he did technically top 5 finish for the weekend.
There you go.
And your debut, that's pretty killer. Hill 2, some epic crashes on Hill 2. And if you guys have not seen the videos out of Nick Rock on Hill 2, you need to go look. There is 4 or 5 quality videos, but I had flashbacks of Screaming Blue and Bobby Tanner. Like, it was, and it's crazy because he didn't get to watch anybody really either. So he was, I think, third in line for Hill 2. Daniel Heckley broke on hill on before he got to the hill. Wade gets up there and turns over. And so Nick only gets to watch one person go up this hill. And he comes, and the first time misses the line just a little bit, I think. Throttle's not where it needs to be. It shoots the buggy straight in the air.
Right.
Just dead straight. And I'm like, oh no, he's going to wad it up. Somehow or another, it gets back on all fours.
Yeah, it's like some sort of pirouette maneuver,
Yeah.
dude. It was like wild.
Yeah. Gets on all fours, goes to the bottom of the hill, whips it around, backs up, throws both hands out the roof, pumping the crowd up, and just gives probably the top neutral drop of the season. And just straight sails it. Tires never hardly touched nothing.
Right.
To the top of the hill. It'd been a long time since I've heard the crowd be that excited for a driver to climb a hill. So that was cool. It was not a good day to be a reject buggy. At the end of the day, there was 3 of them that were all parked together at the top of the hill. One with broken trailing arms, 2 with broken bars, power steering pumps, shocks, just, and they had to park them all next to each other. And I'm not picking on them. I'm not picking on reject. I'm pretty good at picking the low hanging fruit, but I'm not picking on them. It's just so funny that their top 3 buggies were all just parked up here in this little graveyard together, looking pitiful. And I did. I went up and I actually it'd been a long time since I had walked around a machine like that and like looked at stuff, like really looked at it. And I walked around all 3 of them for, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes, just kind of like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Like this little small stuff that you don't see unless you look.
Right.
So they've got some cool stuff. But yeah, I felt bad for them guys. It was a bad day to be a reject buggy. But honestly, unless your name was Nick Rock, it was a bad day.
Right.
Period. UTVs. Listen, this even goes to the amateur class. You know, they run on Saturdays too. We don't give them a lot of love. Brantley picked up the win in the amateur class. Brantley Havens killed his machine. Killed it. We've got bent cross members, 4 flat tires, wheels. The cage is stress cracked from, we don't know what he hit.
Violence.
A-arms bent. Like, and the kid won the race.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like it you can win and it was a bad day.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, he did get to drive a bouncer a little bit. He Brantley actually won the limited bouncer class.
Sweet.
Yeah. He got to run a bouncer, and he just run through the rock garden and parked it, but through the miracle of timing and scoring, he picked up the victory in that too. So that was pretty cool.
So actually 3 debuts for bouncer drivers at West Virginia is pretty cool.
Who's
Because
the
it
third one?
Medley, this is his first
Well, it was his first time,
in Gold Rush, first race in Gold Rush.
first race with us.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's running Outlaw.
hmm Yeah, I think he ran Outlaw in it. Was his first event. But yeah, debut with the real series. Um,
Low
I
hanging
don't know,
fruit,
man.
huh?
Low hanging fruit. I told you I'm pretty good at that.
Damn.
I'm pretty good at picking it.
I guess
Pretty
we're
good at
not even
picking
going
it.
to mention Brandon Davis's second place run then.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Let's talk about that a little bit. So, we talked last week about Menace maybe changing hands. Brandon's
Right.
got the Ultra 4 car and whatnot. Well, of course, we done the show late last week, and I hadn't really talked to anybody. So Brandon did not come to West Virginia. He did go run Ultra 4 in his new UFO car. Second place to Paul Wolf in the 4400 class in his first event.
You can't beat that. Congratulations.
I'm over the moon for him. The video he done with our buddy Pam, I don't know as I've ever seen him smile like that at a race.
Right.
Like he had a really good time, and I'm happy for him. And I don't want to lose him to Ultra 4, and I don't think we'll ever like lose him completely.
No, I think they're planning on coming to Pretty Place.
Yeah, I don't think we'll lose him completely, but I'm glad to see him exploring racing, because I mean that's what it's about,
Is that
getting
right?
out and having fun. Yeah, congratulations to him. Good weekend, dude.
Yeah, man.
Everybody asked me where you were. I had to explain to them that this race was not on your schedule this year.
Yeah, West Virginia is a touchy subject for us. We've last time we went to West Virginia, it cost us a good bit of carnage.
Just yeah. It's a let's talk about that for just a second. So I've talked to a couple drivers since the race. I'm not going to mention any names. One has suggested a leave of absence from that place altogether. Not a don't go there, but a maybe let's take a year off.
Right.
Another has suggested leaving it altogether unless we can get some work done on the hills.
Yeah.
And that I understand if that area is where we're going to race.
For sure.
Because I get it, it's rock bouncing, it's supposed to be hard, but that's there was several thousands of dollars spent
Right.
this weekend.
I think you could have a work day up there and make a really cool rock bouncer course out of both sides. Like there's like a gap that runs through the middle of both rock gardens.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I feel like you go up there with a loader and just move some rocks around, and it would still be rock bouncing, but it would be a fast course. That to
there
me
needs
is
to be, there needs to be something. I mean, it makes for some dang good videos the way it is, but I get it. Now there is also, and if anybody is in here or if anybody sees this after the fact, enlighten us a little bit. Supposedly, there is another area at that park that would be much more conducive to what we do. I don't know if it's a logistic thing as far as getting people to it, getting production trailer to it. I don't know where it's at in the park, but if that's an option, I think maybe we should explore that. If we're going to go back next year, maybe we can rotate that in year to year if we're going to keep going to this place. races like this will cause burnout if there's a bunch of them. The good thing is, though, we just come from Oklahoma. Oklahoma, pretty uneventful, pretty easy course. Come here, it's wide open, going to pretty place, not really extreme.
Right.
So there is there's some give and take, and that's good. And I'm glad he works that in the schedule, and maybe that's why it was scheduled the way it was. We had a big break coming into this. We're going to have a pretty good break leaving this race, and then we got a pretty fluffy course on either side. So
for sure.
Let's get to our awards for the weekend. Our On the Hook award. You could just draw a name out of a hat and pick one. To me, it was between Gold Rush and Dan Bowman. Both had some pretty good roles. For me, I think it's Dan Bowman though gets our On the Hook award. Man, he hit that tree.
Man, I'm with you. I heard Tyrant was in bad shape.
It's fixable. It is very fixable, but it is not in the condition it was when he unloaded it.
It's a little bented up.
A little bented up. Out the Top award. I really want to be a homer and give it to Nick Rock for getting his first ever NRA win. But, I mean, Dylan Dallard done the double on Friday.
Double dipping ass Dylan Dallard just coming in and swooping it up. I love to see when they come in and do like 2 podiums for the weekend, like especially first places. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, it doesn't happen often. That right. Somebody can do as good as that in both classes.
Right, for sure.
And I know he's had some rough races this year. He's had some DNFs and some engine troubles and running rentals at places. And so he deserves this one. Dylan is our Out the Top driver of the week. Let's do our youth driver of the week for round 7 of the National Rock Racing Association. Dallas Heckley is our youth driver of the week. Dallas finished 5th this weekend. She has been in the top 6 all season long. 6 is her lowest finish of the year. She's top 5 in points. She had 4 podiums in 2024. Hopefully we can get her back up on the boxes before the end of the season. Always fun to watch them race. The kids are awesome. Guys, keep wheeling, keep digging, and we hope you have all kinds of success and fun as the season progresses. Dan, let's get into the rundown for the weekend, and we'll get out of here. Let's start with the amateur class.
All right, man. We had Brantley Havens first place, Jason Northington coming in second, Sadie Ellison wrapping it up in third. We got Brantley sitting on top with 611 points for the season, Jace at 580 points, and Sadie coming in with 526 points. So that class is still
open. Grabs. It's one hill, one run. UTV stock, Dylan Dallard was your winner. Robert Trainer in second place, and Cody Kaysen can be beat. He is in third place for the weekend. Cody still leads for the season. Guys, I tried to look up the points for the stock class. We had some website glitches on that, so I don't have the rest of that for you. But Cody's still your points leader by a pretty good margin. UTV Bounty, Dan, what we got?
Well, actually, Cody just broke the damn internet. Is what it is. He's got so many points, he broke the website. So we're going to need him to sit out a race. So we'll just look forward to that at Pretty Place. We'll have him sit out. So, but for the bounty, we've got, we talked about this. Nobody finished. So it fell back on the decided by the combined times. So we're looking at Nate for first place, Casey for second, Jesse Riley for third.
Yeah, our points. Nate and Casey are really the only two in the points at the moment.
Yeah,
Our third place is Austin Tidwell, and he didn't have anybody running. Austin's not been at a race all year, and he's third in points.
that is great. That's great.
Yeah, he did not didn't have anybody running for him this weekend, I don't think, nor the last event. So I could be wrong about this too, and I need to go back and research it before I open my mouth. Nate could be our first back-to-back bounty champion.
That's it. If he wins this season, that'll be the first ever.
I think that's accurate. I could be wrong. If I am, correct me somebody, but I think he could be the first back-to-back bounty champion. Unlimited UTV, Dylan Dowler was your winner. Cooper Bentley in second, and Dustin Medley in third in that Pro R. Cooper is your points leader, 536. Clay Kaysen now in second with 530, and Dylan Dowler in third with 493. So that top three is back within one hill as well.
That's tight.
That's tight. What about our bouncers?
Yeah. All right, so bouncers, we had Nick Wright coming in first, Wade Good coming in second, Daniel Heckley coming in third. For the points for the season, we've got Nick at 524 points, Wade right behind him, 519 points, and Cooper not far behind them at 482 points. So still anybody's game.
That is really tight. Big shakeup this weekend. Our next three events are going to be crazy. The next race for the National Rock Racing Association is round number 7, August 1st and 2nd at Pretty Place Offroad near Circle E Ranch in Belvedere, Tennessee. Guys, come check that out. Cool new park. You can camp and eat and hang out over at Circle E. It's a cool place to come ride. So if you're local to the area, come check that out. And if you're not local, you can still come. We'll let you in.
There you go.
So come on down and see us. Guys, we'll probably won't be around next week. We will be back a couple times before the next event, though. Appreciate everybody for watching. Also, like I said, check out episode 4, I think it is, of Overdrive with Nick Rock. That dropped on Monday, and me and Nick have another show coming out for next week where we're going to recap his Outlaw finale, and we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about some of his club races and stuff. Nick's been on a heater for the last 6 weeks, getting all kinds of trophies, so we're going to discuss that. Guys, appreciate it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Pat, be on the lookout for that discount code in our members only portion of our YouTube channel. That'll be coming this week. You can get you some swag, brother. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody for listening. Peace out.
See ya.